Welcome to Alasquatch, the show all about Bigfoot in the great state of Alaska. I'm your host, Beans Baxter. So lace up your boots, zip up your coat, and come with me on an adventure as we explore all things cryptid in the last frontier. Hey everybody, welcome to this special episode of Alasquatch. I am here. I have Chuke from Chuke's Outdoors. He is Chuke, the man himself. He is a YouTuber, a gun tuber, adventurer. And down here below me and Chuke, we have Robroy Menzies, owner, proprietor, artist, owner of the Bigfoot Art Gallery in Palmer, Alaska. He is also the artist that is responsible for the famous Patty from the Patterson Gimlin film. The Patty face that you see everybody that shares on the social media and says, hey, look, this is a new AI recreation of Patty. No, Robroy drew that shit.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Beans. Wow. Thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah. We're gonna have to like do a whole episode about it one of these days and just I'll bring some pictures that we can throw up on the screen and you can tell us about how you drew it. And then we'll talk about how basically it's gone viral. And
I wonder if Jeff Meldrum would come on with us because he actually had a little input in that drawing.
Maybe I can reach out to him. I've got his
email.
He
remembers it though, up in Fairbanks. Yeah. I did bring it up. We talked about it, but good old days.
Keep reminding people that Rob drew it because it's then the next day everybody's like, oh, look at this AI picture.
I'm afraid it's gotten to the point where no one believes me anymore. You know. I'm like, you guys, but my name, no. Oh well, forget it. I don't care.
I'll tell you guys something. I'm gonna have to eat a little bit of crow on this whole AI thing because remember how I was saying like it's just gonna like go crazy and everything's gonna be. It's actually almost had the opposite effect to where it's made people a little bit more skeptical. A couple of weeks ago, somebody shared, you know, that movie Sasquatch Sunset. I still haven't seen it.
Oh yeah.
But that movie Sasquatch Sunset that was out earlier this year, somebody shared a screenshot of it, of like the three Bigfoots, and basically said like, here's a picture, or I don't remember how they like played it off, but they were trying to pass it off.
I think I might have saw that.
Instead of people going, that's from the movie, people were going, that's AI.
So, right off the bat. Yeah.
I'm like, that's actually not AI. It's actually makeup and Hollywood lighting. But, you know, it's like, hey, you know, people are not falling for stuff as much anymore, it seems like.
Yeah. And even I was talking to a customer today about this, and he agreed it's kind of obvious when, at least, I guess, the general software that's out there that most people gravitate to, it seems like all the Bigfoot illustrations look the same. You know, the Bigfoots look the same. There are exceptions out there, but in general, they all kind of look the same and you get kind of tired of it. They look more like apes or, you know, orangutans or whatever. But I think it's funny that a lot of people will, oh, that's great, blah, 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 blah. And I'll look at something and go, okay, well, the thing has 3 arms. It's like there's an arm here and an arm, and then you look in the back, there's another arm.
7.
And but nobody said the threads are like, blah, 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 you know, this is great. Can I get a print? Blah, blah. And I'm like, well, but there's 3 arms. What if I drew 3 arms? I would be dead. People would just kill me.
You never
hear that's the thing. I
artist, you know.
That's the thing I don't get. I don't understand how people get away with this stuff. I know if I posted something that was not legit, I would get eviscerated. I posted a picture. I took a picture of a moose standing on the other side of a snow berm, and his little hump was kind of sticking over the snow berm. And you know, if at first glance it might look like a cone-shaped head sticking up over the snow berm. And I didn't, in no way did I think I even said it was a moose or something, or I said I should draw a red circle around it and go viral.
Right.
But I wasn't trying to pass it off as a Bigfoot. But I posted it, and I think it was up for like 5 minutes. And somebody who's, I'll just say, a well-known Native American Bigfooter is like, that's BS. That's a moose. And I'm like, dude, I didn't say it was a Bigfoot.
I know people are so quick to just jump. I think they don't read. I mean, I do it too. We don't read the caption. We just look at it and assume, oh, that's not, get on the keyboard and start going at it. But,
well, I posted some
crazy.
bear. I had some bear tracks here, not too far from the house that I took a picture of one day. And, whenever I throw anything up on the Instagram or Facebook, I have the same, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 hashtags that I throw in there, because if somebody is into Bigfoot or cryptozoology, I want them to see my stuff. If they're following those hashtags and I put those hashtags in there, that means they'll see my things. Right. So I always put the same hashtags in on all my stuff, whether it has anything to do with that or not necessarily. And of course, it was like hashtag Bigfoot. And somebody's like, that's not Bigfoot. Those are bear tracks, which, I mean, I knew they were bear tracks.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I even commented something about it. I didn't, in no way was I trying to pass them off as Bigfoot tracks. And I'm like, how do I get called out on this most innocent shit? And other people are just like, oh yeah, that's legit. That's for sure.
I've refrained from posting the double bear picture print I sent both of you, I believe, text you. I didn't post. There's no way. I mean, because I know what it is. I know it's a double bear, but it's really good. It turned out, it looks like a Bigfoot print. But if I post, oh my God, I couldn't imagine. Even if I said this is a double bear print, it would probably get shared as a Bigfoot print. It would. And then that would get intertwined with the truth. And then people would be going, that Rob's a hoaxer. Probably last 3 seconds, but it would still be damaging. Yeah. But I just don't want to deal with that sort of thing anymore. I'll send it to you guys, but all my Bigfoot evidence, nobody ever sees it. So
there's a certain Facebook group out there where I'm already considered a hoaxer. But the thing is like, if I was a hoaxer, if I was hoaxing shit, I would have way better stuff than I've put out there.
Well, we did stage a hoax, but it was a stage.
That was for video that Chuke did about hoaxes.
Yeah. That's what it was for, to show how easy it is.
That was fun.
But we spent minimal time on that. I mean, literally. I think Chuke, we kind of dubbed Chuke to wear the mask at the last second. We didn't even know who was wearing it, So
that's one of my big things is people.
We didn't even have a real suit. We had a cool mask, but that was it. But we still managed to pull it off,
Yeah. But, and that's a video
for the most part. We could have thrown it out there. Go, look what we caught! Oh my God! And then people would be like, "Oh, for 2 days, it would be the greatest thing," and then downhill explosion.
You know what though? If you put it out, if Chuke could put it out as legit, some people would believe it. But here's the thing, Rob. If he went back and was like, no, it's not legit, that we did a little experiment, we were doing a hoax, people would like, nope. The government told them to say it was a hoax. I mean, people would still believe it.
It would be fun to do a little a study like that, just to see what, because people jump either way. Yeah, it's so weird. You are so right.
We're gonna do an episode sometime in the future. I don't know when. Probably not this year. But I want to do. Remember what I was talking about the other day about how, like, in the absence of religion, people will still the human brain will find something to believe in. And I think a lot of times, like cryptid stuff. And I don't mean that cryptids are like the supreme beings or the creator or anything like that.
Yeah,
but like politics, religion, cryptids.
Sure. People get too much. Too emotionally involved,
get entrenched in their beliefs, and it is impossible to move their needle. Or to sway them in any way other than what they believe.
What just happened here with the old elections?
Exactly.
There was a lot of emotions. We're still seeing them. Nicknamed meltdowns, but anyway.
We've talked about this one. What do you guys think of this one? I like looking at it, but
Todd standing.
It was AI, right?
No, I think it's Todd and makeup.
Makeup. If anything, it was makeup. This is kind of before AI.
We've talked about this one.
It is a cool, very kind of Chewbacca-ish. He's kind of got Chewbacca's lips.
It's different than what they usually.
The nose. If the nose was painted black, like it'd be Chewbacca. But anyway, that. If it's anything, I mean, any kind of hoax with that, I'd say it's makeup, is what I would think it is.
Chuke, I'll have to look and find it, but there's a really good breakdown of that. I don't think it might be Thinker Thunker, but it might be somebody else.
Did do one. Yeah.
But there's a really good breakdown of that where they basically take Todd Standing's face and kind of like superimpose it over that thing, and it matches perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of telling. Yeah.
His sister is some kind of makeup artist or something. There's so much. I mean, I wish it was real.
Yeah,
There's so much.
I'd like to think all of his are, you know.
There's so much sketchy stuff going on with that. I just don't buy into it. And the fact that he has like what 3 or 4 pictures, Rob, and they all look drastically different. Like not even the same. They would be the same speed. Like one looked like an Ewok.
Yeah.
One looks like Chewbacca. The other one looks like a guy in like blackface.
Yeah. And being that he was actually in the paper trail is out there he wanted to make a film about Bigfoot. I think it was even more specifically a film like a found footage film. So it is no different than, you know, what's done today. And there's some film out there, you can see it, but there's a casting call sheet out there with all the names of the actors. Someone who played Bigfoot, but not that makes anything, but it does show you he had an intention to go out and do Bigfoot for, you know, whatever means of money or attention. So, you know,
he's got that video of that one running up like a hill, like a ridge. And there's a lot of people
watching that.
I've seen a few people that say they think that one's probably legit because that might be. I think that might have been his first one.
Yeah,
and I think he might have got that one. I think that was his first taste of like attention.
Yeah,
and he's chasing that like, oh, I gotta produce something. I gotta get something out there.
You know, it's funny. I recently watched that, and I was like you. I was kind of on the fence about it. I've seen it a million times, but this last time I watched it a little more skeptically, and it does look like a man just trying to book, and not just a man booking up a trail, but a trail he's familiar with, but he also knows it's kind of hidden from that viewpoint.
Yeah,
and so it looked natural, but to me, it looks like somebody's really stretching to go up that hill, which you would be, the speed he's trying to go. But he's a big dude too. He's a big guy.
The best,
if they would, it's a hoax or anything, but I want to believe it is. But I don't know. That was just the last time I watched. I was like, I don't know, man. You know,
they need to get like a 6-foot dude doing the same thing, so there can be a scale comparison. But anyway, that's going to bring us into our main topic of the night. Quite well, in fact. We're talking about cryptid TV shows, not stuff that we find on YouTube, but this network TV, like Travel Channel, Discovery, even Animal Planet was where Finding Bigfoot came on. I myself, I have been on a couple of those shows. Alaska Triangle is one of those. Chuke was on Alaska Triangle as well. I was on season 1. He was on season 2. Robroy, you were on Finding Bigfoot, I believe.
I was on Finding Bigfoot, and of course the Small Town Monster Show. A few of those, they shot a bunch of footage, and I'm showing up on all kinds of their shows, which is cool. Sometimes I don't know I'm on them, but there it is.
I'll tell you guys something that really hit me today, kind of a punch in the gut, because I was doing a little bit of research for this to find out some dates and some TV, you know, like when some things aired and stuff. And I was floored to find out that Finding Bigfoot aired in 2011. Like that's when it started. I was thinking it was like 2001, 2003.
Yeah.
It was 2011, which feels like it should be like yesterday, but that was a long time ago. Actually,
it's getting to be a long time ago. And even you look at the talent, you know, Cliff, and they've all been doing their own thing for quite a while now after that show.
But
you
still going to conferences.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. There's still a repercussion from all that. They're still getting, you know, I mean, that was kind of a legend show. It came out and it's really started a lot of people out doing that. I mean, the tree knocking, for instance, I believe became more commercialized and popular due to that show.
Well, I wanted to talk about the origins of reality TV a little bit, because some people know this, some people it's kind of surprising, but remember when reality TV just took off It was just all of a sudden
Mhm.
everything was reality TV. There was like
Mhm.
Survivor and like 6 nuns trapped on an island, and I mean, just all these
Mhm.
like crazy like
Nonstop.
competition shows.
Yeah, nonstop. Yeah.
Real Wives of the trailer park and all this kind of crazy stuff.
Yep.
Well, the reason those shows, not that they were created. I mean, they were back in like the 90s. MTV had like The Real World, which was kind of
Mhm.
groundbreaking at the time, where they were like filming
Right.
these people living in a house, and they would get people from like like urban areas and people from like there was a guy, John Brennan, I think was his name. He lived like not down the road from me, but like 40 miles away from me, and he was on The Real World one time, and it was a big deal.
Right.
And they would take him and people from all over the country and stick them in a house together and make them live together, and they were all like, oh God, like
Oh,
Chuke
yeah.
ate my
All the
Oreos,
drama. All the drama.
and
And then started Jersey Shore sprouted, and then
Yeah.
I guess the Kardashians.
Kardashians.
I think
So-
Kardashians put a stake in it, but anyway.
the reason those shows basically came into being is because of the writer's strike in 2007.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow.
And
Really?
the reason,
Didn't even
so
think of that.
the writers went on strike in 2007. It was a pay dispute. Basically, they wanted more. They wanted to work out more residuals for like DVD sales. That's basically what it was. The writer, because they wanted to get paid more every time a DVD sold, or they wanted to like basically hash out a deal for
Yeah.
residuals for that kind of stuff. They went
Right.
on strike.
Right.
Because they went on strike, the networks had basically no writers. So they had to produce shows that had no scripts. But even still, even though like we've done enough TV that we know, even though there's no script, usually there's a producer or somebody there standing there telling you like, oh, well, tell us about what you see, or tell us this, or tell us that, or how does this make you feel, or how does that make you feel? They're eliciting emotions from you, and they're, and guiding the structure of the show or what they're recording. But there's no like script. And honestly, if some of these shows had scripts, they would probably be a lot better. Some of these reality Bigfoot shows. But that is basically how we got reality TV as we know it today, is when the writers went on strike in 2007.
Yeah, no, I can see that. And obviously because these reality shows it was too much, it became too much, which I think is I wouldn't say it was too much, but it birthed a whole another thing. But at the same time, a lot of that stuff collapsed. You just don't see in that sort of raw format that they used to do.
Yeah.
But kind of like your topic today, cryptid shows are far and few between.
They're cheaper to produce. You don't generally have to, I mean, you're not paying actors, and
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I think I've had a couple of dinners bought for me, but I don't think I've ever gotten paid for a television appearance that I've made.
Oh, unless you're one of the main people.
And I don't get any residuals from the airings. And it's funny because I can always tell whenever they show the episode of Alaska Triangle where we went to Port Chatham.
Right.
I'll wake up the next day and I'll have like 20 or 30 Facebook friend requests. Because I'll wake up, I'll look at my Facebook and I'll be like, well, they must have showed Alaska Triangle last night.
Yeah, I can see that.
Happens every time.
That's funny.
And so these shows, they're cheap to produce. They don't have to pay actors. They don't have to pay writers. And I mean, people were watching them. I asked Chat GPT to make me a list of Bigfoot and cryptid related reality shows. And it put together a little list here. I'm gonna go over it real quick. And there was a couple of interesting omissions that I'll get to at the end here. But of course, we have Finding Bigfoot, which is probably the big one.
That was a big one.
And it lasted what was it, like 10 seasons, 12 seasons, something like that?
It was on a long time. I mean, I watched so many reruns too. We just have it on kind of religiously.
When did that end? It's been a few years now, right?
It ended in 2018.
Okay. Wow.
And you guys remember when it ended, how long the rumors were going that they were coming back. They're coming back.
Well, they did come back in like 20. 2022 or something. They did like a special.
Yeah, they did
They
a
did like a
special.
reunion or
But
something.
people really expected them to come back a new season. And I remember even like Cliff and Renee and Matt were all going, "Oh no, we'll be back. Oh, we're just taking a little break," or something like that. But no, they never. It was pretty much done.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if the contract it was just less
well, I'm
viewers
sure
or
it's money. I'm sure everything's money, Rob.
yeah, it had to be money. Whether
every
that
time
was the show's losing money now or they're not selling us, the interest is down, or I don't know.
Typically, when a show gets renewed for a new season, everybody gets a pay bump. Everybody gets a raise. But almost inversely, the longer a show is on, see, a show will come on, it'll kind of rise, it'll gain in traction, and then it's going to it's going to plateau, and it's going to start to go down in viewership. But people still expect their raises when you get renewed.
You mean people really get paid in those Bigfoot shows?
Well, Finding Bigfoot.
I've never been paid for,
and
say that. I've been
this
paid
was
for art, but never.
We're talking about network shows.
Yeah,
and it was a multi-series, multi-season show with the same actors over and over again. And I remember Cliff on one of his, I think it was Bigfoot and Beyond, was kind of talking about some of the stuff they were trying to pull. Like, so they would film, they would have like season 5, and they would film, 5 or 6 episodes, and then they'd take a little break and air those episodes, and then they'd be like, "Oh, okay, we need to film some more episodes. This is season 5, part B." That we just filmed part A. Now we need to film part B. But technically, it was really kind of like it would have been season 6 if they had, but they were getting kind of weird with the numbering and the naming so they didn't have so they didn't have to give them a raise.
Because Yellowstone just did that. They came out with season 5, part 1.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that was because
part 2.
I think that was because Kevin Costner.
Yeah, they offed him right in the ferry. I don't know if you guys watch it, but yeah, he's done.
Spoilers.
Yep. Turn the other way. Yeah, let me apologize for saying anything politically incorrect or offensive, because I'm programmed that way. It's my father's fault. But here we are.
So we got Finding Bigfoot, which is the OG granddaddy. We got Expedition Bigfoot, which honestly, guys, I think this last season is the last season.
Yeah. Really? It's funny.
I don't think they're coming back.
Season 5. I just binged it. I haven't really watched that show a lot, and I watched the whole season in like 2 days.
They're going to get a season 6 because of you, Rob. Thanks a lot.
So I don't think so.
I still got to watch it. I haven't seen it.
Well, I tell you, Chuke, when that show started, it really, I think there was a lot of people that were captivated by it and really into it. It seemed to me, I think it was in season 2, maybe they kind of jumped the shark a little bit, and they found some DNA that was it a chimp DNA or something like that? I don't know. They found some DNA.
They find a lot.
The thing about it is they find all this stuff, and there's never any like follow up. There's never any like.
You're right.
Yeah, or they'll be like they'll see a Bigfoot, and then they pack their shit up and they go somewhere else. They don't go back to that place where they saw the Bigfoot.
Yeah. So, that's weird.
Well, I noticed the night vision scenes in season 5. I think, it was in Alaska. But there were some very good. I say good because you could tell it was an upright person or something walking on 2 legs. But they would either break to a commercial, or it was kind of like, oh my God, what is that? And you can see clearly, it's like, wow, why aren't they freaking out? Why don't they show? They never go back to it. It just kind of passes and rolls on. And I after a few of those going on, coming and going, I kind of start thinking, wow, I wonder if they're staging this, because I can't believe these people will be getting this kind of action and being so kind of not nonchalant, but I don't know. You would think it would be bigger news.
That's
my community.
That's
I haven't really seen much.
Yeah, that's my point. They've kind of blew their
cover.
I don't want to say cover. I was going to say something else, but I don't want to get crude. They've basically they can't put that genie back in the bottle. Like, they found the DNA, they've got all this footage, but they never They never do anything with it. They never go back to the same areas. They never.
Yeah, there's never any real conclusion on it.
I've noticed a lot of people, like when the show first come on, it had a lot of people that were like, "Oh, this is the new shiny thing. This is the greatest. This is the greatest."
Yeah.
And the last couple of seasons, not that I've watched, but I have seen a lot of the chatter online and like the Facebook groups and the Reddit forums for it. It is really fallen out of favor. I think people are onto them, basically, I think. And they've really kind of I think they've lost a good portion of their loyal followers. And I know there was like a very like stagnant period there between, was it season like 4 and 5 or something? And I didn't think they were going to get another season, and then they did, or 5 or 6, whatever they're on. And I would be very, very surprised, which I was surprised they got the last season, but I'd be very, very surprised if they got another one.
Well, you guys have been talking how Bigfoot isn't as popular in popular culture right now. Do you still think that's the case?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's
I do.
died off.
And that's one of our topics tonight is where's it gone and where's that audience going? And I'll tell you, Chuke, I think that it's going to true crime. And you see, I mean, there's always been true crime shows, but I think with the rise of these true crime podcasts, it's almost an inverse effect, because the Bigfoot thing came about I think maybe about the time that Sasquatch Chronicles kind of took off. And I think a lot of these TV shows or TV networks started noticing how popular the cryptid stuff was, so they started knocking out the cryptid shows. Now the true crime podcasts are popular, and I think the networks are taking note of that, and they're starting to put out true crime shows instead of cryptid shows. And these true crime shows are super cheap compared to the cryptid shows.
No effects needed.
You don't need any effects. You don't really need any travel. Maybe to a city where the crime happened or something, but you don't have to send people to BFE Canada or Alaska or out in the middle of Bone Lick, Kentucky or whatever. And so I think these true crime shows are cheaper to produce, and they probably there's a less niche audience. With cryptids, you've only got a few, there's a few people that are into cryptid stuff, but with true crime, I think it's a larger audience, honestly.
Big time.
I think with the hugely popular Finding Bigfoot, I believe watching it, just experiencing the whole, I mean, I'm talking the whole run, and then there was a small gap. There was nothing there, nothing being, not like Finding when it stopped. I think added to the popularity of Expedition Bigfoot, because we didn't have Finding Bigfoot anymore, and it gave everybody something to watch. But it just seems like it's everything's been done. Finding Bigfoot, really towards the end, people were losing interest. I think, it was kind of a joke, and people would call it Night Finding Bigfoot. And I think the format, even though it created
very
a lot
formulaic,
it also turned a lot of people off immediately. You can maybe watch 1 or 2 shows and you just go, this is crazy. They'll never find it, because you see what they're doing. It's kind of blatantly staged, or they cut to commercials, or but the bottom line is nobody ever finds any legitimate proof that would make the headlines or anything. It's just kind of entertainment, really. So that goes away, and people are like, oh good, society probably didn't even miss Finding Bigfoot when it first shut off. Then like a year later, there's no Bigfoot shows on. And I think too, with Finding Bigfoot and after, a lot of people started wanting to create their own content, because it became easier to do it with YouTube and all these social media app platforms that make it so easy for you to just go out. I think a lot of people turn their attention to doing it themselves.
Well, Rob, you're leaving out Finding Bigfoot's successor, not Expedition Bigfoot. So I was critical of Finding Bigfoot when it was on. Like you, I was like, well, this should be called Not Finding Bigfoot, and they always they would build the tension. They would build the tension. They would what's that sound? And they go to commercial, and they come back, and they'd be like, oh, it's a duck, or it's a beaver, or whatever it is.
Yeah, cameraman's over there wiping his butt.
So I was the cameraman's wiping. So I was always critical of Finding Bigfoot until
was
it went
the
away,
man.
and then we didn't have anything for a while, Rob. And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
like a beacon in the night, Rob,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alaska Triangle.
down from the mountain. Nope,
Yeah.
Chuke. We got mountain monsters.
Oh, mountain monster.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Look out.
Yeah.
That.
And
Oh,
then I prayed and prayed for Finding Bigfoot to come back.
It was that
I
bad.
can see that. What blew me away about mountain monsters, it took maybe 10 seconds of me watching it the first time, probably like everybody, to realize this is just so funny. It's crazy. It's totally staged.
I'm going to tell you right
actors.
now, there are people out there that think it's 100% legit, and they're going to get
That's
mad
what
at
I
us
was
for
getting
saying it's
to
not.
is okay, I'm watching this going, this is so stupid. I think the first one I ever saw was the Goat Man, where the one hillbilly guy got peed in the mouth.
They get pissed on. It's the goat man's pissing on me.
And
It's
it
like
was
R.
so out
Kelly
of
is in a
control
goat
and
suit.
funny. I couldn't believe. I thought it was just hilarious.
Yeah.
Then I got online and started going into the Bigfoot community stuff and on Facebook, and I couldn't believe the threads of people believing it.
Wow.
It almost stunned me. Are you guys serious? You think that's really real? They're real? No, that's a production. They're doing it on purpose, Yeah, no, even though these guys are personalities, but they're still staging the thing. They probably, with strong personalities, like the three of us, we could go out and go, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pretend, we see this to get real authentic reactions from us. But we initially know what we're doing. Other than that, it's all perfectly open. We just being ourselves or get into character.
Well, I think, like
fun.
Cliff said,
we should get into character. We should make beards and stuff.
Yeah.
Cliff has well, I've met those guys at CryptidCon.
Oh, I've never met those guys.
Cliff said those guys, they're super, and they're all super
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
They're
They
great
look like
people.
it'd be a lot of fun.
But I think Cliff said they either really believe it's real or they are super committed to the act or to the character.
Act. Yeah. I think it's just
Interesting.
in that. I mean, it would be fun. I would admit I'd probably get if I was in a #1 hit show and I was a character. How could you not be tempted to go out when you're doing these expos or to be that character?
So has it transitioned to like YouTube? Because I know I enjoy Small Town Monsters more than like newer shows on.
Well, so
they're doing things
monsters
a little different. I mean, they have a huge spectrum of things they're working on too, which is nice.
Mountain Monsters started 2013, and if you look them up on IMDb, it says to present, but they have not had an episode since I think it was 2022. So I think it's probably, there were a few of these shows that I looked up, these Bigfoot shows.
Yeah.
That basically, if you look them up, it looks like they're still going on, but I guess they just haven't been officially canceled. But I'm pretty sure Mountain Monsters, they're probably
still in the air
though.
I mean, they still reruns, I guess.
Do you know there's 80 some episodes of that?
Oh, I believe it. It was on for a little while. I didn't really watch it much.
And I'm going to tell you something else that's going to blow your mind. You know what IMDb is, right? Internet Movie Database. You guys, Chuke, yeah. Mountain Monsters has a higher IMDb rating than Finding Bigfoot.
Weird.
Well, I could see it being a little more entertaining to even a skeptical, because they can see through it and they think it's just funny. It is a comedy. It's a comedy. Every episode is interesting. Comedy.
I urge anybody listen to this, and you guys go to IMDb and look up any like Bigfoot cryptid content. It is almost impossible to find anything over a 5 or 6. Like everything, even the small town monster stuff, even like the really good small town monster documentaries, has like a 4. So there's somebody out there just that basically gets up, wakes up, like brushes their teeth, gets online,
all of them,
goes to IMDb, starts finding Bigfoot stuff and just giving it like 1s and 2s.
Wow.
Government plant, probably.
Well, I mean, for as many people as watched it, it seemed like there was just as many people who hated it and thought it was absolutely ridiculous. The typical skeptics and whatnot, they just couldn't stand the show. I remember that. It wasn't anything big. It's just how people are. But it did get softened people up, I guess. A lot of people, it became very, very commercialized and popular because of that. And a lot of younger kids who watch Finding Bigfoot are, either watching all these other shows or they're trying to make content themselves now. Which is cool. But I think it leads to the crashes too much. There's just too much. Or there was too much.
Probably the show that paved the way for Finding Bigfoot was probably Monster Quest, which was on from 2007 to 2010.
Yeah.
And it was legit. I'll give it to Monster Quest. Like
that was the new generation's In Search Of. It was a good show. It was a great show. And that's kind of what was it on? Discovery? Was it on Discovery Channel? History? What was it on? Monster Quest.
It was on History Channel. History Channel.
So that was kind of when history was still had some, interesting things and kind of hadn't get all dissolved into other weird stuff. But
it's interesting the way they put this list. Chat GPT put this list together because it's not in alphabetical order or like chronological order. Because next is the Lowe Files, which was about Rob Lowe and his sons. Like I actually watched it. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. They only had like one episode about Bigfoot.
They didn't last
long either. Like I felt like
it was one season.
Quickly,
it was just one season. And then there's Destination Truth, which is Josh Gates' show. It's not. I don't think it's on anymore, but he has another show. Like he's still going. There's Mysteries Decoded, which says was on the CW. I don't know what that show is.
I don't remember that one.
It says 2019 to present, but I think I looked it up and it only has one season in 2019. Like it hasn't kept going. Fact or Fake Paranormal Files went from 2010 to 2012. Beast Hunter on Nat Geo 2011. Host where show Pat Spain investigates legends of cryptids. I don't think I've ever seen that one.
No, that's kind of new.
Paranormal Caught on Camera, Travel Channel, 2019 to present. I don't know if that's still on or not. In Search Of in 2018, that was hosted by the new Spock, Zachary Quinto.
That kind of fizzled out, didn't it?
Alaska Monsters, which is
the one that was like
Mountain Monsters.
It was terrible. It was like it was below that.
It was in Alaska.
Oh, it was. Woo! Wow.
One season then.
Yeah. That was in 2000. When was that? 2014. Cryptid, the Swamp Beast. That was on History Channel 2014. It says a scripted / reality hybrid show. I've never heard of it.
I think that was the beginning of the fake reality. The more like it's real, but it's not. Mockumentary kind of thing. I think that's what that is. That was
so the last show on the list here, Rob, is Legend Hunter from Travel Channel 2019. Investigates cryptid legends such as Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot. Yeah, I've never seen it.
I think I've heard of that one, but
so here's the shows that I know there's more, but here's the shows that I thought of that were not included on the list, and that's Missing in Alaska. Remember that was a Ken Gerhardt's show. It was Ken Gerhardt and two other guys, and they ran around up here in Alaska. That's the one where they went to Port Chatham.
Yeah.
Then there's the Alaska Triangle, which Chuke and I was on. And then there's the show that shall not be named. So,
which one's that?
I can't tell you.
Can't name it.
No. Why not?
Can I pass a note to you, Chuke?
Can you give us a hint?
I'll put it in the chat, but no, I did like 4 hours of me just railing on the show, and at the end of it I said I'd never talk about it again. So
so we can't go there, but Chuke and I can talk about it.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
There you go. It's in the private chat.
But
that's another one. Like those guys, see that show had the one season and it's done. And the guys that did the show, they were posting on social media like, "Oh yeah, there's gonna be more. There's gonna be a season 2. There's gonna be a season," and then nothing.
Crickets.
And I don't know if that was them like being really, really like hopeful and optimistic, or
Yeah.
if they were being like led along, where maybe the producers were
Could have
like,
been a
"Yeah,
little bit of both.
Yeah.
we might be doing it," but it seemed to me. This is my opinion. Of course, I have strong opinions about that show, but that show almost seemed to me like it was the nail in the coffin of cryptid shows, and
Oh,
it was
no.
You
one
know,
of the
yeah,
most.
yeah.
It was
of
one
the
of the
last
most
ones.
bombastic ones out of all of them.
Yeah.
Ruined it
Yeah,
for
it
all
was
of us.
hard to watch. I'll admit
And
that.
part
It
of
was
it,
a
I
very
think
hard to watch
too,
show.
is because it was coming on streaming and people were binging it. And if you remember the format of the show, at the end of every episode, it ended like on a cliffhanger
Right.
where they're in
Sure.
like some sort of danger or something. And
Sure.
then the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
episode would start and it was just like another day. And they're like, oh, let's go like
Yeah.
explore some more or whatever. And they never resolved anything. And I don't think that really, maybe if the show came on like once a week and you had a
Mhm.
week to kind of like forget about the last episode and then
Yeah.
start the
Yeah.
new
You
episode.
know, and
Mhm.
again,
But when
I
you're
think
streaming one
Yeah.
episode after another, you're like, wait a minute, they were just like being surrounded
oh,
by Bigfoot,
absolutely.
and now
You-
it's the
Yep.
next day.
Yeah.
So
Same thing with Expedition Bigfoot. I watched it, I streamed it, so there's no commercials. There's certainly breaks. You can tell where they mean to go to a commercial and then they come back. But it is they as you watch it, they don't do it all the time. Not as bad as like Finding Bigfoot, but they do it. They what is that? And then it goes to kind of black. They come back and kind of loosely follow up on it. It's usually disappointing, a duck or something stupid. But yeah, not I think I think that's what helped burn these things out is people
Yeah.
almost insulting our intelligence with that
Poor
sort of gimmick.
quality.
Yeah, we're supposed to believe this, you guys, and 12 episodes into it, you just start turning the channel. But it's going to take something a little more believable, I think, to bring it back, or it's going to
Yeah.
take a lot of time. It's
well,
going
I
to be
will
like a 5-year lapse before we see another Bigfoot show get commercially
I
popular.
will tell you guys, during my research for this show, I did find out there is a show on it came on like last month or something, and it's still running. It's a new show. It's called Lost Monster Files. It's on
Oh,
Discovery Channel, and
okay.
you can watch it on Max. And
Hmm.
it's kind of I looked at it. I didn't watch it, but I was like looking at
Oh.
it before I came down and got on here. And it looks like it's kind of the same old where they talk
Yeah.
about a creature and they go and
Probably is.
I guess the premise of the show is they have special access. For those of you that are listening to audio, I'm using my quote fingers a lot today. They have special access to Bernard Hoovelman's like files.
Hmm.
And they're
Oh.
supposed to use these files and go investigate cryptids. Although the first episode is about like the Alabama chupacabra or something, and I'm like, I don't think Bernard Hoovelman that chupacabra thing I think didn't come about until after he would passed on, probably.
Oh boy, here we go.
So I'm a
Sounds
little
like
skeptical.
a
I haven't even watched the episode, and I'm already calling shenanigans.
Remind me, where's Bernard from?
Bernard Hoovelman is the guy. I believe he coined the term cryptozoology.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
The pioneer.
yeah. Okay. Huh. I don't know. It sounds like another redo of another, again, but I think it's very difficult for production producers over the decades that come and go to build content for this sort of subject matter. I think they always end up doing the same thing. It's too easy to do that. And I think people
Formulaic.
we're just kind of sick of that same formula. And we're always let down. There's no solid proof. There's nothing really, so I think years of that, it definitely has affected, I think, production value or the demand, I should say. I'm sure producers still want to do it because it's inexpensive to do, but are people still watching it like they used to? Just since I've owned my business 5 years ago, I used to get every summer. It's kind of tapered off. Still get a little bit, but I used to get a lot of phone calls. For production companies were coming up. There's a Travel Channel, Discovery Channel, whatever channel. People were coming up here and doing these little reality shows about Bigfoot. And boy, I didn't get a lot this summer. It's way down from the previous 3 summers. So I think you noticed that too, Beans. It's kind of like,
I excuse me. I only had one, I think.
this summer.
production company reach out to me this year and talk to me. And I in fact, it sounded like a pretty interesting premise. I can't really talk about it because you know how this stuff works. Like they might call me in like 2 weeks and be like,
oh, sure.
But it sounded like a really interesting premise. It didn't sound like the kind of shows we're talking about.
Right.
And it was, in fact, a little different.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think I might have told you guys about it, but anyway, I went along and I did some stuff with them, and in typical production company fashion, they're like, oh, we'll call you in a couple weeks, and I never heard from them. But that's how it goes. It's always like, we'll call you in a week, or we'll call you in 2 weeks, and then like 6 months later, they're like, hey, you still interested in that thing? So we'll see. I actually kind of hope it.
That was like the first 3 summers I owned my business. There were people calling all the time. Is this you in the Bigfoot Art Gallery? Yeah, I do. Yeah. Or, do you know anybody that's seen Bigfoot? Oh, yeah. Oh, you do? Oh, well, I'm the production, blah, 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 blah. And they want your information. They want this, and they're coming up. And boy, it was like 2-3 of these production companies this summer were coming up. And then last summer I had the Flash of Beauty did come up, and they did an interview in my gallery. It was great to see him, but that was it. I'm like, wow, it's been quiet.
So what do you think about this, Chuke? This is, I think, a lot of these researchers and Bigfoot enthusiasts, I think they're kind of getting wise to this, because these production companies, they want to come in and they want, tell me who who's seen Bigfoot, put me in touch with them. Take me to where you think Bigfoot is, and show me around, and basically, we'll buy you dinner.
Yeah.
But so they want your research, your field notes, your contacts, and then they want you to play tour guide, and they don't even pay you. So how do you feel about that, Chuke?
Yeah, I think people might be getting wise to that, because I had to kind of fight for a payment, and I just got a couple $100, and I was happy to get some exposure, and they flew me around a little bit, but they take a lot more than they give.
Well, that, the show that shall not be named, that was the breaking point for me, where I was like, I've turned down several TV shows since then. Where they're just like, hey, we're doing a show about this thing that you are the leading authority on. You've written the only book about it, and we're going to do a show about it. And I'm like, this is it. This is my time to shine. And they're like, we'll give you $100. And I'm like, you go frick yourself.
Yeah.
It's hard to justify it when you're working and you got, like me, when I got my business, and I just don't have a lot of time. Now, if they're serious, okay, fine. But like Bean says, a lot of times they're just not serious, and it's hard to tell at first, and they do have a tactic where they seemingly, try to get as much as they can for nothing, using the old, there'll be hundreds of thousands of people watching you, blah, you'll get so much exposure. Well, but you're still taking my time, you're using my art or whatever it is.
Is the government tapping into our chat? Where did that bubble thumb come from?
I thought that was you.
What bubble chat? I didn't see it.
On my picture, like
I saw it too,
a bubble, and then a thumb went like thumbs up.
Did I do something?
Like the
Did you touch a button, Rob?
I went like this.
I got a special
like
button.
A bubble thumb.
I don't know.
Like somebody in some top secret room is like tapping into this.
Someone's tapped into us.
I think so.
Oh boy, Bean, you know who that is? Someone from that show you can't mention.
It's either that, or we triggered some AI motion.
It's the government.
It probably is the government. I could believe that.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to get the show really bad.
I still want to be hopeful, though. I want to be hopeful. I know Rob mentions hopefully some discovery would be made. I hope people will become a little more. I think they're still interested, but
I think so too.
We need something to happen.
Something, either that. I don't know. It seems like these shows go in a wave. They get really, really popular, then they go away for a while, and they come back with a vengeance, and then they die. I think it's just our attention span. I think we just get tired of them. Like we just experienced the Finding Bigfoot Expedition A, all this mountain monsters. You couldn't turn on TV and surf without seeing a half dozen Bigfoot shows or UFO shows. And they're still out there, but they're not being made as much. Maybe
UFOs
that's
are
part of it.
big
They
right
make so much
now.
content. There's nothing more they can do. But
UFOs are big right now. There's some big
yeah,
newer
there are.
ones
Yeah.
coming out.
You would think it'd be bigger with the disclosure of the government and
Yeah.
whatnot, but I guess it is. I think people have just been exposed to it for so long where it's
Yeah.
working. If the government's doing it on purpose, I think it's working.
Yeah.
People just yawn anymore. Oh, I seen a UFO. Yeah, whatever. Go back to bed.
What did I don't remember if we talked about this or not, but there's a I don't know if it's a conspiracy. We'll call it. I don't even think there are conspiracies anymore. There's just rumors.
Mhm.
But there's a rumor that all this UFO talk is basically just the DoD trying to get more funding. It's just like
Yeah,
we'll just say there is an unknown threat,
that would probably
and
make more
we don't
sense.
and ask for more money.
It's hard to say because they've
God
been
forbid
running
that goes the truth.
disinformation. Yeah, they've
Yeah,
been running disinformation campaigns since the 50s on
sure.
this. So
I-
it's hard to say.
yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know what to believe anymore, but I
A lot of
believe my
people
own
say
eyes,
that
though. That's what I
a
do.
lot of people say that the government knows about Bigfoot too. That's another interesting
Yeah,
topic.
I
There's at least some files on it somewhere
I
that
think
they're
they
not.
do. I think the government knows some. At least I think the military knows.
Yeah.
Law enforcement of some kind, military of some kind, they know. I think they
I
do.
think it's probably very localized. I think
It
it's
might
one of
be.
those things where it's like the rangers that work in this particular area are aware of them and think
Mhm.
maybe there's something there, or they've seen them, had reports on, but they know,
Mhm.
like if a ranger that works in I don't know, like Coville, Washington or something, uh,
Mhm.
they're pretty familiar with it. They have a history of it, but they know if they call Washington D.C. and they're like, "Hey, we've got like all these Bigfoot reports coming in here, and I think there's something to it." Their career is going to go.
Yeah.
Like they're going to be
Yeah.
like that guy. Unless they have something that they can wheel in on a cart and be like, "This is a Bigfoot. This is what people have been seeing." Their
Yeah.
superiors are just going to laugh them out of the
Mhm.
office, probably.
Mhm.
I
Because it
agree.
Yeah.
seems like you hear that a lot with these guys that do come forward, the actual rangers and law enforcement
Mhm.
guys. They'll be
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, I told my supervisor, and he told me to forget about it or not to mention it." And I don't think it's a cover up per se, where they're like, "We can't tell anybody about this." I think it's more of a, if we mention this, they're going to think we're crazy, and our careers are going to get stalled, or we're going to
Mhm.
get, they're going to make us do psyche vows. They're going to take our badges and guns, and we're going to have to like jump
Just
through a
like
bunch of hoops.
UFOs. Yeah. Just like
Well,
UFOs.
whatever happened to is no, I heard Legend Meets Science is making the second one. Even Scotty in the cabin got involved with the DNA of the handprint. I haven't heard anything. Have you heard anything about that? That would be a
The
good one to come out and kind of re-energize everyone,
the
you know?
last I heard was Doug had sent it to, I think Darby Orcutt is doing the DNA for him,
Mhm.
and he said he's got like, and I'm quoting, I'm guessing it was like 50 some samples he's sending him,
Mhm. Mhm.
ours included in that, our
Mhm.
DNA sample of the
Mhm.
swab of the hand. And I do not know the status of it. In fact, I guess I should probably text him and ask him, because I haven't heard from him in so long. I was joking the other day, like I'm going to find out just like everybody else when they show it on TV, I guess.
Yeah, maybe you should
So
send them the poop we found, huh? Yeah.
yeah. Oh, that's long gone. That sat on my porch for a while I was trying to find something to do with it. And I was like,
That was kinda funny. That was a very
I should
comedic
have froze it.
moment.
I should have froze it.
Needed a snack.
I was impressed you picked it. I mean, you thank God you had your DNA kit because we were both looking at each other, kind of going, "Well, what should we do?"
That's the one of the best videos we've ever done, Rob, because I
Oh
got
my
your like
god.
raw reaction. I'm like,
Yeah,
wow,
it
come over
was.
here.
I mean,
Look at
yeah.
this. And Rob looks down and he goes, "Oh, that looks human."
Oh
Uh,
gosh,
that's
yeah.
funny.
I boy, oh boy. I had a guy come in today asking me for Scott's number, and
Mm,
I thank God Scott's doing the cabin thing because it's all out there on the Airbnb website, the
mm,
Ellsworth cabins, so you can rent that.
okay.
But he wants to go out there. But yeah, that place is going to be busy. I think once he gets
I
it
think
going.
so. I didn't get to go out there this year.
We got to go out there this next year. Beans.
It just
We
didn't
should
work
bring
out.
Chuke out there. Is what
Yeah.
we should
Yeah.
do. And each we could each get a cabin. I know I could sweet talk Scotty. Come on, Scotty. He'll give us a cabin. But
If the weather's nice enough, I would like to do like Alex and those guys did and just camp out up on the ridge or something.
yeah,
But it would have to be really nice. Like
I would have
when
to
we
be
were
with
out there
dudes with guns too.
when Alex and those guys were doing it, it was pouring. I mean,
that would be miserable. Oh gosh, that was horrible. I'm so glad. I'm actually glad I didn't go out there for that time. But
well, it rained the entire the first day I was there. It was really nice, like super nice, like great weather.
Mm-hmm.
It rained the entire time. Like every day after that, it rained. We were out there for like 14 freaking days.
Oh yeah,
rained for like 13 of them,
mm-hmm.
and then we all got COVID.
Oh, I remember that. That's ridiculous.
Oh gosh, miserable. Oof. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So I don't know. What do you think? You think we're going to have a number one show soon, or is it going to be, a few more years? And
I think it's coming
is this
around.
truly the death? Is it going to come around? Or are there going to be constant little teasers or tests like this show you're talking about seeing, and they kind of test the market? And
we've always got the YouTube content creators,
and maybe that has something to do with it too.
I think it kind of does.
It eats a lot of that,
maybe.
Yeah, because you can go out on YouTube anytime and find any clip or show or movie or what about cryptids.
I think
just
STM
stuff out there.
I think Small Town Monsters now has enough content that I think they actually have a Small Town Monsters channel where you can just go there and it's a constant live feed, like 24/7, 7 days a week of their stuff.
Sure.
Or at least they had it on not too long ago. I don't know if maybe they don't run it all the time.
I got to get a hold of Eli too. We started doing I started doing audio for them again. But I did one new one. I haven't heard from them yet. So but that was fun. I enjoyed doing it.
But yeah, I mean, there's, I mean, I guess in one sense, it's like, man, that there's no new cryptid content coming on TV, but most of it was trash anyway. So
not like we're missing anything.
So the stuff on YouTube, like the grassroots, content creating is better anyway. Like the stuff that Seth and a lot of those other guys similar to Seth are putting out is just as good or better than anything that's the network TV with their massive budgets, which I don't think they really spent that much money on.
But just shows the effectiveness of people being kind of brought up now or weaned off cable TV and going to the internet and all these choices. And it's like Joe Rogan's show. Look at that show gets more, people listening to it than the networks do.
Yeah. Well, I don't have cable. Do you guys have cable?
It right there. It's like,
GCI is going away with cable too.
That's right.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, why even
end of an era?
For those of you that don't know, GCI is probably there's GCI and ACS, and those are probably the two main cable television providers in Alaska. Yeah. And GCI just announced they are doing away with cable television.
Oh, wow.
You need a satellite like Dish TV or something in order to get cable channels now.
Isn't that funny how Hulu Live will be one of the last kind of remembrances to how cable was? I don't know if you guys have Hulu, but Hulu Live is laid out like you have a menu, but it's kind of like cable. You have a timeline and you have all these channels and you can just pick and choose what you want to watch at what time.
I have Hulu, but I don't have Hulu.
Very familiar for us old schoolers. But I don't know if that'll be around. I imagine it will be.
Well, have you seen the meme where the guy's like, how long before somebody bundles all these streaming services together and reinvents cable?
Yeah,
probably.
I don't know what'll happen next, but
I
think it's funny that the whole Tyson fight was like an experiment from Netflix.
Yeah,
that's their first match.
Did you guys have any connection issues?
Yeah, I crashed a couple times.
I did. At my home. I watched it on my big television.
So
did it crash.
In the third fight, I think with the women that fought, it froze up and we backed out and we went back in and it worked flawlessly the rest of the fight. But we had one issue, but I know like in between the rounds and in between the bouts, I was getting on like Facebook and X and people were just like, Netflix is down.
Yeah,
Netflix
thanks
is
for the
down. This
crashing.
sucks. This sucks. And I'm
Yeah.
like, man, I watched the entire like 4-hour thing and I only had like one little hiccup. So, and I'm not even sure that might have been my internet. That might not even have been Netflix.
Yeah, we were watching it on Starlink, and we lost the signal like maybe 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Huh. Speed dial to Elon.
right.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
Yeah. Well, that's another thing.
Huh.
Like we've got our internet is through GCI and we're
Mhm.
paying a lot for it.
Yeah,
And we don't even have like the fastest internet.
compared to the lower
And
48, we're getting kind of ripped off.
we're
Yeah, I don't know. I've got AT&T and I didn't have any issues at all.
we're considering. The only reason we haven't already switched to Starlink is we both do a little gaming and I do some streaming like this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's the only real reason, because I'm a little leery of satellite internet, and because we've used Starlink out in the cabin before, Rob, and we've had some issues with it.
Yep.
And I live kind of in a similar, like there's a lot of trees. Well, you've seen my house, Chuke. There's a lot of tree cover around me, so I'm a little concerned that I'm not going to have the line of sight that I need to run it reliably.
Yeah. We tried that with Small Town Monsters that time, and we got maybe 2-3 seconds, and it just crashed.
Yeah.
But at least before we didn't even have that. At least you can check your emails and whatnot.
Yeah, I still owe Aaron from Small Town Monsters. I still owe him for that. I gotta do something nice for him.
Wouldn't that be funny if I got up and I just had nothing but a jock strap on and then started
Like Mike Tyson. That'd be awesome.
That was the best. That was the
That
best.
was funny. Yeah.
I don't know who that. I mean, that was the most comedic thing.
Rob, you got to draw us a Bigfoot wearing that.
I'd love to. I'll do it. Oh, that was just too funny. I think the whole world, the whole world was just stunned for a second.
Yeah,
it was kind of like, wow, that's Tyson's bare ass, and it was so. It's like this cameraman was like, oh no, oh.
I hope my ass looks that good when I'm 58.
Jeez, I don't know. Even the commentators like, we didn't need to see that. But yeah, Netflix again. I think that was part of their, kind of new. It was kind of new for them anyway. But we'll probably see more of that too. More Netflix doing stuff. But
speaking of there was a Netflix show, a Netflix cryptid show. What was that? Because like William Shatner hosted it, didn't he? And then there was I think Todd Neese was on there. And
there is. What is it called? I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Captain Kirk's on it. He
like Lost Tapes or something, or
it's not something like that. Not Expedition. I can't remember what it is. I've seen a couple little things on it, but I never really watched a whole episode of it. But anyway,
I can't. I just Googled like Netflix cryptid shows and
The Unexplained.
The Unexplained. That's
what it is.
Yeah, that has William Shatner.
But that's Netflix's real, as far as I know, that's Netflix's only real like foray into the cryptid world.
They got a lot of shows on there. Kind of like Amazon Prime has a ton of crazy B and C rated, UFOs and Bigfoot shows, and
they do.
As far as like networks though, Travel Channel.
Maybe that's why there's just too much out. There's nothing new to produce.
Travel Channel was it for a while, and they got caught up in that like merger with Discovery and Warner Brothers and HBO.
They were dissolved.
Well, it's funny because I after the show that shall not be named, in protest, I canceled my Travel Channel Live or Go or whatever account it was. And then they merged with HBO, so now I have it whether I want it or not.
That's funny.
I think a good format would be if you could get some hosts to get together and do not like kind of like a Mystery 2000 Mystery Theater, but watch
and
ongoing brand new like Bigfoot material that's come out and just shred it or just speak your mind on what you think. That might be interesting.
I think that's kind of what they do with The Unexplained.
Is that what they do? I mean, just kind of like, now check this out. This comes from Pennsylvania. Watch this. play. Oh, horse crap. No, look at this. Let's slow it down. Look at that. We could just
I remember somebody saying like that's kind of what they were doing, and they would basically tell them like, we want you to think this is real, or we want you to say this is BS, and they were like telling them what to say. So it would have. I mean, I could see that. I see where you're going, Rob, and I see how it could be good, but it would have to be genuine. But then again, everybody would be like, "That's bullshit."
For sure.
Everybody would be like, "That's bullshit." If it was bullshit, it would be bullshit. There wouldn't be any like, "It might be real."
Again, it would be short lived. Probably it'd get old real fast. I think that's the problem. It just gets old real fast. What can you do that's new?
Well, that's what we got to do, guys. This winter, we got to come up with a new formula for a cryptid show. And then this summer, we should go out and we should make it.
Let's do it.
Oh, a new show. Groundbreaking.
A new formula.
A new formula.
Towards anyway.
Challenge. No old formula. Only new formula.
What'd you say, Chuke?
That's what we're moving towards anyways. Let's do it.
Yeah. It seems like it.
So we got all winter to brainstorm it. And if any of you listeners have any good ideas,
this ought to be good.
Let us know and we'll use it and not give you any credit whatsoever.
That's right. And maybe we'll even call and interview you and get some more details.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll tell you we're going to call you in a week, and then we'll never call you.
Yeah, and viewers out there, let me know if you really want to see Mike Tyson impersonation from either Chuke or Beans or I.
Vote on it.
He's just so nonchalant too. He just kind of walked, stood there, just as proud as could be. Yeah, stunning. I loved it. Yeah.
That's going to be the one thing that everybody remembers about that fight.
That's the only thing. I keep like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. But I almost think that was part of the show. I mean, it's almost like, wouldn't that be brilliant if they were doing stuff like that?
Well, Mike Tyson was in The Hangover, right? I mean, he's got to have some comedic chops.
Humor. He does. You ever watch his talk show? He's pretty funny. They take. I've seen him. He took mushrooms once on the show, and they were all just laughing, and they're smoking cigars, just hanging out like we are. But he's a pretty funny guy. He's got a good sense of humor. That's why I saw that, and I was like, is that part of the show, or what? Is that just a screw up on the production staff? But I don't know. It was so well done. Yeah, who cares? It was funny.
That was good.
Yeah. Well, usually when stuff like that happens, there's like a quick cut.
Yeah,
like there's a quick cut. Like when the Super Bowl thing happened with Janet Jackson, it was there and it was gone. And you're like, did I see that? And then you had to like go back on the TiVo.
Not this.
This was like.
I think everybody was just stunned.
Yeah, they did.
They were just sat there looking at it for about 3 seconds. And went,
the cameraman was just sitting there.
Get Paul, move, camera 2. God,
that's good.
But that was awesome, though.
Some guy in some booth somewhere was losing his damn mind.
Oh yeah,
cut the camera too, and they're like, "We're not ready." I said, "Cut the camera too."
I'm sure.
Comedy gold. That's all that was. That was worth the price of admission, if you ask me. But
yeah.
Anyway,
dude, that's what you need to draw us a little cartoon, Rob, of Bigfoot walking through the woods like that. Only he's got like a bare ass. He's got no hair on his ass, and it's like Beans or Chuke or whoever, whatever. Billy's Bigfoot encounter wasn't quite what he expected.
Bare ass.
Yeah.
I can do that. I can do that, Beans. I'll do that. That'll give me something to work for. That'll do it. Maybe even this weekend. But thank God this is my Friday. So
good.
All right. Wow. Let's get our final thoughts. I think we've pretty much already covered it, but
yeah, we did pretty good.
TV, is it dead? Is it in a cocoon and metamorphosizing? What's going on, Chuke?
I think it's metamorphosizing. It's not completely dead. I think we will see some better content come out, but like you said, I think the more quality stuff people are just making themselves, like us. Like we're doing some pretty entertaining stuff. So, and like Rob says, I think it comes and goes with popularity, and hopefully in the next year or two, it'll be back on the upswing.
I think it's going to take a whole new personality. I think people are a little, if you can get a new thriving personality in there that people find interesting, maybe that'll help too. But I think it's going to take a little break. I think people are on a little break right now.
So
and
what do
it'll come back.
you guys know about, like the TikTok effect where like everybody,
Mhm.
people want things to be, I mean, even me, when I'm scrolling through
Sure.
TikTok and I
Yeah.
see a video and I'm like, I'm kind of engaged, but then I look down and see like the little, like, this is going to be like a fucking 10-minute long video. I'm like, next.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
people's
Attention span.
attention spans
Yeah, 2
have,
minutes.
have really,
You got 2 minutes. That's it. Oh, it's
so,
2:05. I ain't watching that. So, yeah.
we need to start thinking about what kind of cryptid content could we create for the TikTok generation? Short, quick, entertaining snippets.
Huh? What?
Exactly.
Oh, and it's over.
That's what it's
Yeah, just
turning
go,
towards.
That's it.
what was that? Like for
Yep.
part 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
and somebody farts. Oh, and then that's it.
I think we've got one of those somewhere.
We do. That was actually pretty funny, I think.
I don't know. I don't remember what I've got it somewhere. I'm sure I do.
Maybe we should just go full mountain monster and just show butt crack and all that stuff. Potty jokes, potty humor, slapstick.
Let's do it.
Maybe we should do it in black and white too, like it was done in the 30s or something. On film.
Should dress
do
in like those
blackface.
old. No, we should dress in the safari outfits, the khakis with the safari hats.
Oh yeah,
like the Three Stooges.
Or we could dress like trappers too, old mountain
No,
trappers.
that's what we should do. We should do the Three Stooges. Just smack the shit out of each other.
We could, yeah. Well, that's kind of what we do anyway. Oh well.
All right. Well, I hope you guys were entertained by this. I know I was. I always love talking to Chuke and Robroy. We have, if our group text ever got leaked, we would probably all go to jail or be on the watch list.
We would.
Yep.
Chuke, where can people find you and discover your content?
Chuke's Outdoor on YouTube. Pretty easy to find. Just type in Chuke, it pops up.
Robroy, where can people find you and your great art?
Super easy to find because I'm located in Palmer. Open Tuesdays through Fridays from 10 to 6. I'm open Saturday from 10 to 3, and that's located in Palmer, Alaska. That's the Bigfoot Art Gallery. And I do have a website under the same name, www.bigfootartgallery.com. And then I have my Facebook page at bigfootartgallery.com. And then there's, of course, me, but I lay a pretty low profile. I get enough of this at work, so.
And I'm Beans Baxter. I'm the host of the Alasquatch Podcast. You can find me at alasquatchpodcast.com. You can go to that website and purchase some of my books that I've written. I have one on Port Chatham, one on looking for Bigfoot like a police officer would and documenting evidence. And I have a book of cop stories from my time in Alaskan law enforcement. I can personalize those and send them out to you. And you might want to get those orders in because Christmas is coming.
We're already getting Christmas orders in.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Bigfoot Art Gallery. If you're going to get something from them, you better get it in now.
Yeah, there's already people buying stuff. There are lots of stocking stuffers at my gallery. And they're coming in right now. As we speak, people are buying stuff. Sold another guitar today too, so it's awesome.
Are you doing anything for Black Friday, Rob?
Oh, we're always having Black Friday sales. You just come in and talk to me. That's it.
Every day is Black Friday.
Yeah, every day is Black Friday at the Bigfoot Art Gallery. So, I
usually do something like 15-20% off, I think, the Black Friday weekend.
Sure.
So
I think I'm going to push my art. We've got a lot of beautiful art for sale. The guitars, of course, are fun to sell. There's always something to see in there. All the Bigfoot stuff too. And my art is always fun. And I can sign it for you. If you guys come in and buy, so I can sign it for you if you want. I'm kind of famous.
We're all kind of famous.
Yeah, we're all kind of famous. But anyway, that's not important. But come on in.
So anyway, guys, thanks for watching or listening. Please like, share, subscribe, and let us know in the comments, however you're watching this. Let us know what you think about the state of Cryptid TV, not YouTube, but Cryptid Network TV, and your ideas for how Cryptid Network TV could change, improve, and what's next for Cryptid Network TV. Is it going to survive?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd like to see the answers there. So,
all right.
Thanks a lot, Beans.
Thanks, everybody, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.